time. So, I'm glad you're joining me today. How are you feeling?
Yeah,
How's 2022 treating you?
good. I went into the barber shop and got a fresh little haircut
Oh
just
yeah,
for
I remember.
this.
Oh, a nice little fade, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Because on the show they try to paint me as an alcoholic. Saying
Well, how are you
why
feeling?
they I
We've
don't know
had a
why they
couple.
saying that.
Yeah, we've had a couple months now to digest. So the show's the dust has settled. How are you feeling about how the whole thing unfolded now? Maybe with how you were received, and then your reaction to that.
Man, I feel like life is a series of chain of events, and you know why I left that show? Why I
What?
left the way I did because I didn't want to get slapped like my boy Chris Rock got slapped.
You really
I
felt
felt
like
that
you would
coming.
have?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, Tammy's husband was walking through the house, and security just let him walk in and and I just had enough. Like, you gonna sick your husband on me like he's some kind of pit fucking bull? Like he's running through the house, David, where is he? Oh, but the best part though, I'm just gonna sit right here and I'm gonna wait on him, honey, until he gets back. And the one of the producers came out, that would not be necessary. David Edwards has been apprehended by production. And the look on his face, and to watch him drive off slowly on that scooter.
Yeah. I feel like it shouldn't have got to that point, though. You know what I
But
mean?
to,
Like,
but it made for good television. It
it
made
did.
excellent television. It did. It made great television. And watching him roll off on that scooter was just fucking priceless and hilarious. It was like a gift from God. And watch the look on their faces when they said, "I've been apprehended by production. I'm not coming back unless you guys leave." The look of defeat on their faces was just priceless. And then they cut to him riding off on the scooter.
Y- you wouldn't have left though had that not occurred,
No,
would you?
I would have stayed. I would have stayed. I would have wrote it out.
Mm.
I had just got out of the hospital from neurosurgery
Hmm.
at that point, and he's running through the house like a madman, and nobody in that house is having my back. What the fuck am I gonna stay around for? I can make a phone call, and ain't nobody gonna like it. If I made a phone call too, there would have been no show. Somebody would have. It would have been some shit. So that's why I left too. Because if you touch me, that's a whole different thing. But I might have took it like Chris Rock took the slap at the Oscars and just sued the fuck out of everybody.
Did you feel like there was a lot of that going on? You didn't feel like maybe your roommates had your back? You felt like maybe it was
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
telling you
and that.
one thing and then saying something different in interviews?
Oh, of course. And then after I got to watch the show, and I've talked to all of my cast members personally, and to see them sit on that camera and say something totally different or do stuff totally different that I did not see. But I'm used to it from the first real world. It didn't shock me, but it kind of did because we're super adults now, and to see that go down like that, to see how people can be that two-faced and that super adult, really kind of, and damn near everybody did some two-faced shit. It was kind of disappointing, but hilarious at the same time.
Well, why do you feel like that was though? Do you think it's just because of the heightened environment? Because I've spoken to a handful of them, and they've told me like one-on-one setting when I've had them on, like David could be a really cool guy. He's funny to be around. So like, why do you feel like it was a different scenario when the show was on? Is it just because of the cameras and the heightened setting?
All of it, all of it, all of it. That and number two, we got to keep that in mind. We are here to do a job. We're
Right.
here to make television. We're not here to sit around and pink our toes and yell kumbaya. We're here
Yeah.
to be interesting, and that's why I see another side of the plate. One other side forgives, but another side doesn't forget because we are here to make television.
Hmm.
We're not here to sit around. It's to
Well, how did you feel about the way you were portrayed on the show? What didn't you like, maybe?
how they tried to make me like that I was a constant alcoholic when they was drinking way more than me. All the if you
Mm.
watch the show, that alcohol that they packed up, Wasn't my alcohol. That was their alcohol.
Wow.
The vodka that I poured in the bottle, it was their vodka. It wasn't mine. It was theirs. They ordered it from production. That big box and John and them
Yeah.
decided to throw. The only person John doesn't drink. It wasn't John's alcohol. It was everybody else's. I didn't bring no alcohol in that house. I was drinking their shit. I was sneaking Tammy's beers and drinking them. Tammy was walking around with a champagne glass full of Bud Light
Yeah.
in a champagne glass, 24/7. She was drinking Bud Light 24/7. Everybody was drinking except for me. I would sneak mine.
Jeez. I just think that's I think maybe there was a particular
Yeah,
narrative.
because a lot of time I had just left surgery like a month and a half after that, and I had surgery on my brain and my skull, and I had a fractured
Hmm.
tibula, and I would get pain a lot, and I don't like painkillers. I'll take Tylenol Extreme Plus, or and I saw some vodka there, and we just had a rough day shooting the blanket scene and emotional stuff with the blanket. Let me sneak some fucking, and they're gonna be like some fucking little snitch ass bitches in front of the camera because I didn't want to be portrayed like that. That's why I was doing it like that. I was moving like that for that reason. And they want to be little assholes and call me out on it behind my back. Yes, he needs an intervention. And as y'all saw one of those scenes, when I took my drink, I went outside on the phone, talked to one of my friends, finished my drink, got a little tipsy, and got into bed. Wasn't running around the house fucking with nobody. I went and got in the bed.
So were there instances then, say if like, maybe it wasn't on screen where like you and them were fine and everything was cordial between you guys and they didn't
Yeah,
show
man.
it?
Yes, there was times me and Tammy would have talks, smoke cigarettes. I did an episode of Tammy's Chronic Chronicles for her, me and Beth, and we would all sit around, and there was instances where we all got along, and they did not show it. I'm glad you asked that. Yes, they did
I,
not show it.
I
Did
did
not
hear that
show it at
that
all.
that big race blow up that ultimately sparked the season. I did hear that race was not even like a big discussion when you guys were in the house, and it was just that one
No,
instance at early. I think you guys were coming back from John's concert or something, and it was just that one
yeah.
little instance, and they made it into like the whole season
This
essentially.
whole everything went left so fast. We had a great time at John's concert, and John blew my mind. That man can sing and play, and he had one day to get everything together. He did beyond a phenomenal job. It blew my mind, and I had a great time. We get back to the house. I'm thinking, I'm gonna get into bed, lay the fuck down, and then we hear everybody got to go downstairs. I'm like, what? We went downstairs, and they in the fishbowl rolling around and pulling out questions. And I'm like, okay. And all of a sudden, somehow nigger gets thrown around, and I'm sitting there just like, whoa, what the? And I feel like a fly on the wall because I'm like, okay, this has gone left, and this is entertaining at the same time. And Tammy did a phenomenal job by getting in their ass. It was hilarious. By the time she got to me, and you're sitting there as a black man, you over there laughing, ain't saying nothing. There is nothing left to be said. You said it all. You're perfect. You're right on. I can't go beat a dead horse. What do you want me to say? Lock the doors. Put the ropes around the white folks. Let's hang them up our back. Is that what you want me to say? She said everything that needed to be said. There was nothing for me to chew on.
And I feel like the two of you both had valid arguments in what you guys were stating in that type of conversation, you know what I mean? And I just feel like I understand where the both of you were coming from, like, but I think like that's just someone's owed the right of their opinion, you know what I mean? And I just feel like someone shouldn't be condemned for their opinion like you were.
Yeah, and that's the
I'm not
that
saying there's a
was
right or a wrong, but what I'm saying is people are owed an opinion.
yeah. It was all if she would have just listened like I listened to her. I wasn't there to win an argument, which she was. I wasn't trying to be right. I'm just expressing where I'm coming from and how I feel right now and about everything that's going on in the world. And she didn't want to hear that. She wanted the whole let's tear this motherfucker up, fight the power. And I never said anything about Walmart.
What was
No,
what
no, I
was the
never said
Walmart thing?
When I said, corporations, they're playing field days with all these titles. I don't like division. Blue Lives Matter, Black Lives
Hmm.
Matter. Whether you're black, white, Asian, Chinese, all different human species are fucking crazy. And at this point, I don't give a fuck because I'm exhausted. Like literally, I just got out of neurosurgery and dealing with this. It's I look at after dealing with my near death experience. I look at life through a different prism now.
Hmm.
Like the world is going to do what the world is going to do. Only thing you can do is just be right in your center, in your core, in your aura, and move that way.
Amen, man.
There's somebody. Let's use our platform to change the world. We are not the super friends. You blame me a rape, and you was down with it, and I'm just now getting to know you, fucking guys. Y'all talking shit behind my fucking back, doing goofy shit. Have y'all noticed on that show they would not leave me alone? They kept fucking with the bull, kept poking the bull, poking the bear. And then once she called me a house nigger slave or some shit like that, I have a slave mentality. It was like, all right, whoa. All right, now you're asking for it. The gloves are coming off.
Was this like a preconceived notion with you in there, and how they were going to be towards you? Did you feel?
No, 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 not at all. Not at all. I got notes from the producers and stuff. Everybody's glad to have you back. It's gonna be nothing but love, no this and that and the other. In the beginning it was, but Tammy noticed all the love that I was getting. And if you watch on that show, it switched. She switched on Beth. She started getting jealous. If Tammy does not have the moment, she'll start some shit. And that's what I felt was going on when we played that fishbowl game and the George Floyd thing. It was more to me than just George Floyd. Very important topic, George Floyd, by
Yeah.
the way. And I mean, come on, I'm not going to, you know, but I felt she weaponized that to her advantage to make her as the justice of
Right.
right. That's how I felt. And I felt that was unfair. Not, I'm not saying, yeah, they should not say nigger. No, they shouldn't. No
Hmm.
one should. Shit, including me. No one should say it. And I get that, but I felt she weaponized that shit to for her advantage. That's why I kept saying on the show, if the preacher can't convince the congregation that there is a devil, he'll get no money from the congregation. Somebody has to be the boogeyman to make you look like the hero.
And I just don't feel like there should have been a villain on that show. I feel like there should have been cases made on both sides why your opinions are validated, and then we should have just came to a common ground. Like, this is what you're gonna think, this is what I'm gonna think. Like,
That's what I wanted. Yeah.
yeah.
You're right. You're right. And that's what I would like for it to happen. Except then she went, "Do you want to meet my husband?" I kept threatening me with him and made the phone call and had him come up there. Now let me make a phone call. Okay, bitch. And have some chicks come up there to kick her fucking ass.
One thing that I did find weird, and I think John pointed this out when I had him on a couple weeks ago, was how like it almost feel like that was premeditated, her getting him there, because I'm pretty sure like he was on speed dial from the moment.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even
And she
think he
said
lives
that.
in L.A.
She said that on the show because Beth A was like, "I'm quite sure you got your husband on speed dial." I sure do, honey. And once I heard that because I was upstairs, people listening down, and I was like, "No, I'm getting the fuck up out of here." And then John, because I was supposed to perform, was it that night or the next night? It was my turn to perform. I was going to do the same thing John does, but at the Laugh Factory Comedy Club.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they blew all that shit out of proportion. I was like, you know what? I'm not fucking doing it. And he overheard me on the phone talking to somebody. I said, you know what? If they keep opening their mouth, I'll talk about their ass in the goddamn club. So once they heard me say that on the phone, and they act like me being on the phone was bothering them, I'm allowed to talk to who I want to talk to. I'm not fucking with y'all. I'm not bothering you. I can say what I want to say when I'm on the goddamn phone. Mind your business.
Where do you feel like you stand
So
today? Oh no, go ahead.
so after that, I was just like, you know what? I don't even want to perform. I don't even want to perform for the people. I don't even want them in the comedy club around me. Fuck it. The world knows I'm funny. I don't have to prove myself.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna leave again on a high note, and this time on my own terms. I'm gonna steal all y'all headlines right now.
Well,
I'm leaving. Like in Tom and Jerry. If you kill the mouse, if the cat kills the mouse, there's no cartoon.
That's a perfect analogy.
It's
I mean,
over. I'm leaving. The show was over once I left. That shit fell.
undeniably though, I mean, you were like the plot of the show. So I
And
mean,
I
it's hard.
and
No one can argue that.
I had the best time, bro. I had so much fun. I don't regret not one thing. I'm not pissed off. I'm a little disappointed. Just seeing them all hugged up together at the end, smiling, like once again without me. But I had to choose that route because I'm not going to sit there sleeping in fear all night if this motherfucker can come through the house again. Because in that house, the doors are not locked, so the camera crew and stuff can come in through the doors. And they had security there, but the way he walked through that house and talking about she had him on speed dial, they said I did not feel comfortable at all. And I talked to the producers. They was like, you know what, you're right. You're right, and we appreciate your professionalism. I told them I can make calls too. I'll
Hmm.
have Crips and Bloods at that motherfucker, and some cholos. They will not like it. They'd be shitting themselves. But ain't nobody got time for that. And I don't. I'm too pretty for prison.
Yeah, right.
Too pretty. Too pretty.
Listen, man, you mentioned the graphic about, them hugged up at the end. I mean, it is unfortunate that you weren't there, but what the one silver lining I will say is that it has produced some pretty quality meme content over the last couple of months since the show is wrapped up.
Yeah. I love my memes. My homeboy Vance, he makes them for me personally. He does them. They're handcrafted. Yes, they're personally made. I don't make them. And some of I don't like my supporters. I don't like calling people fans. That's just
Yeah.
people who are on Team David. They'll send me stuff, and I'll just throw it back out there. And Tammy has the Bonnet Chronicles, and her Bonnet Chronicle fans are relentless.
You getting a lot of
They
hate?
were, yeah, there was, yeah, and occasionally I'll get some stuff, but then and some people read them and they'll go back and attack them. Like people from who are Team David, they'll go back. It's a mess. But you know how Beyonce has the Beehive?
Yeah.
Tammy has a Tammy Hive. Like,
Well, you do a pretty good job of keeping your social media under tabs, I feel like. You're out there, but you do like a pretty decent job of like staying under the radar, I feel like. Is that intentional?
yeah, it's very intentional because number one, although I do put some memes out to replace the frustration, because I watched Tammy on her Bonnet Chronicles from the last 8 from these episodes. She was just talking about me, talking about me, talking about me, and saying whatever she want. And I didn't say anything back, but I would post a meme.
Hmm.
And that's my way of retaliating. And I thought it was very entertaining that almost all your episodes until the show ended was about me on your Bonnet Chronicles, and so, which is a very possible, very popular thing. And Tammy, she's a very talented woman,
Hmm.
funny, talented, but she has this bullying quality about her, and you can't bully me. Are you out of your mind? I am a professional comedian. I'm used to tearing hecklers down to the bone when they come for me. Please don't come for me. Leave. That's what I kept telling them. Leave me alone, you guys. He's vaping. He said, remember when Tammy's in the truck smoking cigarettes next to Beth, and Beth ain't saying shit. Like, that's why I said on the show, if Tammy would drink piss in a cup, these motherfuckers would drink it. And they would.
Well, that's,
Everybody in that
yeah.
house was scared. They're scared of her,
Hmm.
including some production members and producers. I was like, what is wrong with y'all?
I mean, one thing I will commend you on is you're definitely your own entity, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't try to go with the flow or go with the crowd rather in that setting, and that I feel like is a vital part of reality TV. Because if you had a bunch of followers, then what's the show gonna be? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. It's like somebody conducting an orchestra. Everybody has to play their
Instrument.
instrument. Yeah, sometimes you get to play more than one. Just know the song and just go with the song sometimes. Sometimes I will walk out of a conversation like this ain't for me, and then I'll pop back, and a lot of stuff I sidestepped and didn't comment on. The transgender issues, the gay issues, I stayed away from. A couple of things I stayed away from on purpose, and I let people have their moments, and I wasn't trying to be right, and I was just trying to be me, but don't try to set me up like I don't like my people or other human beings because of the
Hmm.
color of their skin. Like I don't like shit being toxic or division and especially on that platform. It's just and when Beth said, well, let's just use our power to do good and fight the evils of the world and we have a platform in it. Shut your ass up.
Where
Shut your ass up, Karen. That, one of my
where are
favorite
you?
one of my favorite parts of that show is the Karen shit. Karen,
That made
Karen,
headways fast.
Karen, please. Karen, Karen, leave me alone, Karen. It was hilarious.
I don't
Some of
know.
that stuff.
I feel like you two get along though in a private setting when there's none of those other people around you and her, Beth.
You know what we did when the private setting, and we always got along. But when them cameras come around, but it turned sour when she came for me over that vaping situation. You ain't learned. You coming for me? Are you fucking serious? You ratting? You snitching on motherfucking cameras, bitch? Are you fucking serious? That's why I said they didn't. They edited out of one of the episodes, but they did put it in one of the trailers. I feel sorry for your husband, but it didn't make it. It made it into a trailer, but it didn't make it into the episode. But it was one of the dopest lines. I feel so sorry. It must. Oh, did I say it must be? It must. Oh, it must sucks to be your husband.
Wh- Where are you now on a mending fence front with your castmates? Obviously, you feel some type of way in the sense of maybe how they might have talked about you, but like, say right now, like, how do you feel about them as individuals? Say, like, are there any of them that maybe you want to maybe have a friendship with outside of those shows?
Um, they're my castmates forever. Like
Yeah.
we've done something incredible that made television history, and I do share that bond with them. And that is the extent if it goes. If they call me up, John called me the other day, and I talked to a lot of other real world people from other real worlds too, as well, not just my castmates. And I do that. I am cordial. I'm not an asshole. Um, Beth Anthony wanted me to do her live and her podcast. I'm like, no. She wanted to come to DC, one of my comedy shows I was performing at. I was like, no. Why? Why not? Because I don't like what you said about me on the show behind my back. She would do
Mm.
little two faces stuff behind my back. Say one thing to me when you're talking on the show, and then she'll go and big up Tammy. I just didn't like how she was moving. I don't hate nobody. Um, I care about them. Do I love them? I like my castmates. They are quite entertaining, and I don't hate nobody. Not angry. It made excellent fucking television. Got everybody fucking talking, and it was the funniest shit. I didn't know I had so many wig jokes in me. And then here come the Chris Rock and the Will Smith slap, and I was watching that. I went, that's why I left.
Yeah, right. Immediate clicked in your head.
Am I psychic?
I do want to talk though about your accident before the show. How close up until like you were departing to go film that show did that accident happen? And could you walk me through exactly what happened to your recollection?
Yeah, I used to have dreadlocks, and it was like the day before 4th of July or 2 days before 4th of July, and I was riding my bike past where the Lakers play through downtown LA, and the lights went out, and they said a truck hit me, and I don't know if they hit me because it's an electric bike, and cause the police didn't find no bike, there was nothing on cameras, nothing, they didn't find a bike, and I remember two guys looking at my bike at the light really hard, and I went, and I'm guessing they just veered and hit me and took the fucking bike, threw it in the back of the truck, and kept going because there was no evidence of a bike.
Wow.
So they're saying I got jacked, robbed, and left me bleeding in the street, big gash. They must be straight to surgery, and had neurosurgery and a torn tibia and a couple of fractured ribs. So and then I stayed in ICU for a week and a half, and then went back to the house. nursed myself, and then got ready for the show and went to do the show. So it was just been a series of events that I had to go through. So I was still processing that while I was on doing the show, but I didn't really have the chance to tell everybody what actually I was going through. I didn't take pill medication because they was trying to give me painkillers. I told them no, I'll just take Tylenol Plus because I don't like being addicted to anything. So I had to nurse myself off of from pain the pure fucking way because in the hospital, sitting there with the morphine button and anything you want they
Yeah.
giving you, and then you boom, back to taking care of yourself. It was a whole process.
Wow. So it seems a little bit fuzzy then, right? Like in terms of like what you remember from that incident, like it all happened so fast.
Yeah, everything happened so fast. Even all of this happened so fast. The whole process of the show and all of that. Then immediately when after I finished the show, I went to North Carolina. I went to DC, Atlanta. I just traveled.
I mean, that
I needed a
travel
break from
changes people,
everybody.
man.
I needed a break from everything and for everybody. I didn't want to see anything I recognized or no one that I just wanted to get away.
Yeah. How maybe straightforward was that process for you in the sense of when they first reached out and tried to get you to do the homecoming? How first
Um,
much of a
it
decision went
was
into going?
um, it took me a while to even return their call, and then it just kept bombarding me. And then I was like, let me think about it. And then I was like, okay, okay. And then we had a series of talks, and I was like, all right, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it. Let's go. I
Wow.
mean, I just didn't know that rehashing that blanket incident was going to take so long. I didn't know that they was going to milk it that hard.
How early into filming did they do that? I think it was pretty early on, right? It was like,
Day one, day one.
hmm.
Like after I got into the house, we all met and sat, and then all of a sudden, ding, message, and they got right into it, and it was like a long, like 2.5 days of it. Like, it was very, very daunting, very draining.
And I know you mentioned in '93 coming off the show when that hit the scene, that blanket incident was kind of tough for you, right? In terms of public perception and maybe like jobs. How was the backlash back then coming off the
I,
show?
s- I said everything on the show. People have to watch the show. I don't want to spoil that for them. I said all
Hmm.
that on the show, and you guys got to watch the show to, because I addressed all that on the show. Not to be rude, but I don't. It was very the roller coaster ride, and which I talk about it on the show.
Hmm.
Um, the great thing about the show is this time around too, people get to see a lot of different angles of the same situation and where everybody stands on it. And there was a lot of people who didn't know about the show because they was too young, and they actually went back and watched everything because even my old episodes are playing on Paramount Plus now. Our old episodes, so they get to see totality of everything and get some kind of decent perspective of. But there are some women out there. Well, no means no, and you shouldn't have pulled the blanket. Blah, 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 blah. That's like, did you even watch the show? Did you?
Well, that's social media, especially, if that incident were to take place now, it would be one of those things I feel like when all you would see is just a 3-second snippet with like some caption of like, some clickbaity thing to try and make it look like, you
Yeah,
know, yeah.
totally. Yeah,
Hmm.
totally. Yeah, you're right. And times have changed so much now, and they kept trying to sweep me towards the Me Too movement. That's when I told Beth Salachi, this is not a Me Too movement, and there will be no Me Too movement. So get the fuck off of that. Stop trying to sweep me over the next to the Me Too. That's another thing that made me angry about Beth Anthony. She tried to be so woke. I hate people who extra woke, try to be extra woke. That it makes me cringe. You're not perfect.
No, I hear what you're saying though. I definitely think we're all, or you all are there for a reason. They didn't go out and pick individuals with squeaky clean reputations or perfect upstanding citizens. They're picking people from different walks of life and they're putting them in this house in a situation. And if everybody's perfect, then that's not really
It
relatable to
doesn't.
the casual viewer.
Yes, we're there to make television.
Right.
Oh my God, we have the best job in the world. We get it. We are getting paid to get on each other's nerves to make good TV. And I got that part, and I accepted that part, and I played my part to the best. I wasn't trying to overly be an asshole. I stood up for myself. I was hilarious at times. I wasn't overly trying. I felt I left everything on the court, and I played my position to the best it could be played. And when there was nothing else to play, let's move along. I'm not getting slapped.
Mm-hmm. So, did you get any calls to do any challenges, like the All-Star
Yeah.
ones?
Yeah, I did. I did. I told them I'll think about it, but I'm not.
Not in your wheelhouse these days?
No, I'll host one. I'll host.
Didn't you host one? You hosted a challenge
Yeah,
back in the day, right?
I'll host it. Yeah, I'll host it. I'll host it. Yeah, I'll host one or something like that. But come on now, I'm not a challenge guy.
I
Just
I heard you were supposed to be on one of those in Mexico and you got sick.
yeah, I got sick and
That
the
was
hurricane came. Cabo St. Lucas. I got
wow.
sick and the hurricane came and tore the place up. We got separated. They shut everything down for 10 days. I
That
had to
was
make
around
my
9/11
way.
time too.
Yeah, I had to make my way down to the airport, and luckily I made friends in the hotel, and they drove me to the airport. And the production crew was there that day, and everything worked out.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
got you sick down there? Do you remember?
Uh, ate some bad Mexican pussy. No, I drank the
Oh man.
water. No, I drank some water, I think, and I just got really sick.
Well, I don't know if you know this or not, but had you not gotten sick, you would have been paired up with Beth on that. That was a battle of the seasons. John
Oh,
took
thank
your
God.
spot.
Thank God.
Hey,
You see how she?
television though, it would have been it
Uh,
would have been a
hey,
perfect storm.
my pay stayed the same. It didn't change. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Poor John. And are you still a virgin? He said how Beth betrayed John, and John was like, "Bitch, shut up. What are you doing?" So I'm
John's a great
just,
guy. He's had
yeah, I
nothing
like
but good
John.
things to say about you.
Yeah, John's cool. He called me the other day. We talk occasionally. I take his calls. He's a
Yeah.
good guy. He's a
Hmm.
good guy. A couple of times he got on my nerves. He said some things too on the show, and I'm like, John. Well, he's always good for about 6, 7 episodes. He did say one dope thing though. When when everybody's looking for me and the husband's running through the house and they look, I wonder where David is right now. And John goes, he's probably sitting in the director's chair. Yeah, so Boston is next, huh? No, New Orleans.
New Orleans. What do you think about that?
Yeah. They
Would you tune into a show?
I'll peep it out. Yeah, yeah, I'll peep it out. I just want to see. I want to see their chemistry, and we're a tough act to follow. So
It's looking
let's see
nutty.
how.
But you seen the
Yeah,
trailer, man.
yeah,
I've been speaking with a few of them already. We're getting that
yeah.
kick started. It's looking pretty nuts.
All right, all right. You think they going? You think they can keep up?
I mean, uh, I enjoyed you guys. I think out of the four shows that Buda Murray's put out on Paramount Plus, the two between the two All Star shows and the two Homecoming shows, I think you guys were the best out of those four, in my opinion.
Yeah, in my opinion too. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm like I watched it too. I've watched it like 10 times already. My friends like they come up, they want to watch it, or and I love it. I love the way it's shot, how great it looks, how great everybody looks, the humor in it, the all of it. Even the nigger stuff to me was so fucking funny. I laughed so hard at Irene when she stands up. And I love Irene, but she stands up and you don't say it either. Looks over at Tammy and looks back at him because you have no idea what it's like to be a nigger. And they cut to Tammy, the cigarette in her mouth, and you don't say it either. You Latina.
It was good television, undoubtedly.
Oh my God, it's hilarious. And Tammy's so fucking funny. He's funny. And Tammy's very talented. I don't know why she has to be a bully on these reality shows. Trust me, I watched her on Basketball Wives back in the day, and I was like, if she would have bullied me like that, and I would say it to my girl, my girlfriends would like tell me, we'll watch sometimes, laying up in the bed. I'd be like, yeah, she wouldn't bully me like that. And then I had a chance to be with her again post Basketball Wives, and once she started coming for me, it reminded me of Basketball Wives and the
Hmm.
bulliness and because she was punking bitches, taking their purses, busting them over the head with champagne bottles and all kinds
Wow,
of shit. Yeah,
I
she was
didn't know
fucking
that.
people. You never watched Tammy's old Basketball Wives?
Nah, man.
Straight bully. She was punking people. Like she punked worse than she punked people in that house. When she came to try to punk me, nah, you gonna get it.
David Edwards doesn't get punked.
Nah, not on the real world.
What led you to try out originally, might I ask?
Um, One day, Dave Chappelle, he's a very good friend of mine. He called me over and he said, "Man," and he was doing a sitcom in town in L.A. He said, "Come to my hotel room." And I'm thinking, all right, because I got a job for you. I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm about to be on your pilot for your sitcom." He's like, "No, there's a show called The Real World, and where you move in a house, you ever seen it with cameras and they follow you around?" I said, "Yeah, well they want me, but I'm tied up with Disney. I can't get out this contract. So I'm gonna walk you over to the mall with Barry. We'll go out tonight, hang out. You hang out with me. We'll go over to the mall. I introduce some producers and stuff." I'm like, "All right, cool." Boom. They introduced me to everybody, him and Barry Katz, and we sat down, had this meeting, put the application in my hand, went to fill out the application, me and Chappelle, and one thing led to another. They came out and filmed me for test shots, and 3 weeks later, I asked me if I wanted the show, and I got it.
So it was a fast-tracked process, you would say.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I think they made the right call.
yeah. It was literally given to me from a friend.
Did that open up a lot of doors for you in the sense of, I think I saw you on House Party. Was that
It's
a?
weird. Yeah, it's been a gift and a curse. It's opened doors and closed them and opened them back up.
It's like a
Yeah, it's
revolving door then.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Well, I do
yeah.
got to ask this though. What did you think about that encounter with Puck on that one show that you did?
Oh yeah, when he spit in my face and I spit back and they didn't show it and they finally showed it like 4 years after it. And TV was like the unedited version of what happened. They finally showed me spitting back in his face and and me and Puck we was very cool at one point, but he was beating on his girlfriend and I found out about it and I told him don't come around my house no more, stay the fuck away from me. And one time we did this gig right before we did that show and shit just started boiling over. I don't like motherfuckers who put their hands on their woman or any kind of woman.
So that's
I've been socked by a woman. I just walk away. Call the cops. Like you don't fucking beat on women, bro. I can't be your friend. You can't.
but that was another situation too where I feel like people didn't take your back on.
No, they didn't. Remember? Everybody on that
Yeah.
bus. I'm like, why do y'all have this motherfucker's back? Are y'all fucking crazy? It was like the Twilight Zone. That's why I looked in the camera. They're like, what? Why do I feel like I'm on the Twilight Zone on that show? Yeah. Yeah, I've always, every time I did something, almost every time I did something for the real world, um, it's been like that. When I did that challenge in Jamaica and this one here and the other real world that I did. And I've hosted for the real world a challenge, and I also did the real world movie. What was it called?
There was
Um,
a 10-year reunion too.
a 10-year reunion, and I did the real world. We did a movie for the real world. With, certain cast members played themselves. It was me, The Miz. Not Anessa is in it.
Melissa?
Something. No, Melissa's not in it. I don't. Yeah, Melissa's in it. Melissa's in it.
Eric Nies?
Uh, Eric's not in it. I don't think Eric's in it. No, Eric's not in it. The Miz is the wrestler, and a couple of other people. What's it called? The Real World: The Lost Episodes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's okay. It's alright.
It's all right.
It's
It
okay. It's
doesn't meet
alright.
David Edwards standards though.
Right, but it's alright. It was fun. It was fun.
Bro,
It was an honor.
I always say this, reality TV, man. I mean, aside from obviously your homecoming, but like reality TV is just not what it once was when you guys were on it,
Ah,
bro. Like it's evolved so much. It's not about like
so much.
raw stuff. People, they're throwing influencers on these shows now who already got followings, and they're just going there for the paycheck and just lounge out and not be themselves.
Not be themselves and realize, yeah. and not be themselves. Yeah, yeah. But with social media now, it's my first time getting the experience once the show started airing, and my Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat, all that shit, Twitter, it started blowing up, and I'm getting feedback at real time. Back in the day when we did it, there was no social media. We had fan mail coming in, bags of it.
Yeah.
I would read it and write back to people. Now you can just, but I didn't feed into it. I very rarely respond. The most they'll get out of me is a delete block. Oh, I'll let them fight other people on the page, and I'll read it, and it's very entertaining. They might get a laughing face, but that's about it. I don't fight back because it's not mentally.
Good for the soul,
No, yeah, it's really not. You got to take this stuff with a grain of salt. And I learned Twitter can be a very mean place. What happened to Twitter?
bro.
Holy fucking shit!
I'm not a
Twitter
Twitter
is a
guy, but
me neither. Man, Twitter is mean.
well, I said this the other day. I said Twitter's the transparent capital of the world. Twitter's
Yes.
where the real thoughts come out. Instagram is just what pretty much people want you to think they're thinking or doing.
Yeah, it's totally correct.
Yeah, man.
Totally correct. But times have changed, and you got to change with them, and that's what I'm learning to do. And
Yeah.
But it was funny though. It was to snatch headlines like that. David Edwards leaves the show. Tammy calls the husband on David Edwards. David calls uh, Beth a Karen. I was like, whoa, whoa. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. And to have my daughter on the show, that was awesome.
Yeah. That was a
Yeah,
good
that was.
moment. I like that.
I've I've always had visualizing one day she'll be on the show, or be on the show actually, or and to have her there with to be on there with me was very cool. So
Wholesome.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be alive. I'm very thankful. Very thankful for the experience. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I'm glad. The reason why I'm not mad is because I chose to do it my way,
Mhm.
to leave my way. The look on their faces. David's packing. He's packing. Yeah, yeah. The look on their faces, and to walk out that door again on my turn, the same door I had to leave from the first season when it was so unfair. It just felt complete. It felt, yeah,
Story
yeah,
rewrit itself in a way.
yeah, yeah. And I didn't get slapped.
Well, I hope that you're going to be doing some comedy stuff coming up soon, man. I think you got
Yeah,
a talent, and people need to see it.
thank you very much, man. I've been working on new material and just trying to process everything.
Well, pretty
And
soon, man, we're going to have another season out there that's going to be taking away the attention. So I think now maybe with this podcast and us talking about this and the new season hitting the screens that maybe this could all be kind of finalized and put in the ether a little bit.
yeah, man. Let's hope the world stays together, that they don't blow this motherfucker up. Ukraine and Russia need to calm the fuck down. Oh my God, food prices jumping through the roof, gas prices,
Gas prices, a big one.
the whole world jumping through the roof. Everything is just off the fucking chain right now, and we just gotta pray and just stay solid as human beings and learn how to love and appreciate one another. Of course, everything ain't gonna be perfect, but I don't know. The world is very off the chain right now, and hopefully we'll still be here tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you coming on here and doing this with me, man.
Yeah, man.
I was hoping we would be able to do this. I think it was going to be good for you. And I'm just fortunate that you gave me your time tonight. So.
But keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. You see why I left?
Yeah.
Give me my Oscar.
All
All right, man.
right, man. Have a good one.
You too, man. Thank you.
Take care.
All right.